Lee, the little girl named Maira. Maira was known for her boundless curiosity and sparkling laughter that filled the village square every morning. She loved exploring the woods, collecting wildflowers, and inventing stories about the creatures she imagined lived there. One crisp autumn morning, Maira wandered a little farther into the forest than usual. As she strode along the path, she stumbled upon a tiny wooden door, set into the base of an old oak tree. It was so small and unexpected that Maira wondered if she was seeing things, but the door was real with tiny carvings and a golden handle that gleamed in the sunlight, and her heart raced with excitement and curiosity. Without hesitation, Maira knocked on the door, just like her mother had taught her to knock on someone's house. To her astonishment, the door creaked open, revealing a tiny stairway spiraling downwards. Maira hesitated for a second, but her adventurous spirit pushed her forward. She carefully stepped down into what felt like a different world. As she reached the bottom, she found herself in a magical underground village filled with tiny cottages, glowing lanterns, and woodland creatures dressed in little coats and hats. An old rabbit, with glasses perched on his nose, came forward, looking at her in surprise. "Who are you, little one?" he asked with a gentle smile. "I'm Maira," she replied, trying to keep her voice steady. "I found your door," the rabbit chuckled. "Few humans ever find it. You must be very special." Maira spent hours exploring the village, meeting animals who could talk, joining the tiny parade, and even tasting a piece of honey cake from a squirrel's bakery. Time seemed to melt away, and as the sun began to dip low, she knew she had to return home. The rabbit walked her back to the little door, saying, "Remember, Maira, you'll always have friends here in the forest." Maira climbed back of her heart full of wonder as she closed the door gently behind her and ran home, her pockets full of acorns and her mind bursting with stories. From that day on, Maira returned to the tree often, knowing that just behind that tiny door a magical world awaited her. And every time she knocked, the door would open, welcoming her into the hidden village that only she could find. One day, Maira went back to the magical village, but something felt strange. The magical tree's leaves were almost all gone, and the air was filled with sadness and fear. The animals were gathered around, looking scared and worried. When Maira asked what was wrong, the old rabbit spoke softly. "Maira, this magical tree is the source of life for our village, but something bad is happening. Its leaves are disappearing at night, and we believe a powerful wizard is stealing them." Hearing this, Maira's heart began to race. She promised to solve the mystery and save the tree. That night, Maira and some brave animals stayed by the tree to guard it. As the night grew darker, a strange mist began to form near the tree. Out of the mist appeared a tall, shadowy figure, a wizard with glowing red eyes and a long twisted staff. The wizard stepped towards the tree and started casting a dark spell, making the leaves wither and fly into his staff. Maira gathered her courage. She stepped forward and said firmly, "Stop. You can harm our magical tree." The wizard turned and glared at her, saying, "This tree's power is now mine, and soon I will be strong enough to take over this whole village, and you cannot stop me." Maira replied, "Our friendship and kindness are stronger than your dark magic. Your evil plans won't work here." The wizard laughed mockingly and raised his staff, casting a powerful spell that made a blinding light flash towards Maira and the animals. They stumbled back, but Maira didn't give up, and she quickly signaled her friends, the squirrel, rabbit, and bird, and said, "We have to work together to defeat him. If we combine our courage and friendship, we can break his magic." All of them gathered their strength, and the bird flew swiftly and snatched the wizard's staff from his hand, while the squirrel and rabbit grabbed his legs, keeping him from moving. With the staff in hand, Maira placed it near the magical tree, and as soon as it touched the tree started glowing again, bringing back its green leaves. The wizard screamed in defeat, "No, this can't be. You've broken my power." Maira smiled and replied, "Our friendship and teamwork are the greatest magic of all. A selfish wizard like you can't fight against it." With his power broken, the wizard faded into mist and disappeared. As he vanished, light and joy returned to the magical village, and the animals celebrated with Maira hugging her happily. From that day on, the village animals learned that kindness, friendship, and unity were the strongest forces against any evil.